Welcome, folks, to another one of my videos. There's my continuing my playoff prediction update for you. Just giving you basically a brief breakdown of where each team stands as of now. It's week 10, so from here on out, there's like 6 more games to be played. So this is where you're gonna see teams really fighting for playoff spots. This is when the football season gets serious right now. So teams such as the Eagles and Patriots and Vikings, they basically just gonna be basically securing their them a first seed. Basically, they're gonna secure a first round bye. While other teams such as the Bills, Cowboys, and Seahawks and Ravens, they're basically gonna be fighting for a wild card spot. If anything, they're gonna be just trying to fight just to get into the first round, or just at least get into the divisional round. If anything. So as we proceed, let's just give you a quick rundown. AFC North, of course, I told y'all Pittsburgh is basically in the playoffs. I don't see them not getting in with the way things are going. The only team they got to worry about in their division is Baltimore because there's really not too much competition on the AFC this year. I'm not going to lie though, the AFC is not looking the best right now at all. Okay, and we've seen this on Sunday. Teams like the Chiefs and Raiders have been losing games as of recent. They've been losing a lot of momentum. And like I said, Cincinnati and Cleveland are just they're terrible. Both teams need a whole change. So I can see Pittsburgh getting in. They're basically where they want to be. Ravens, Baltimore actually has a chance to get into the playoffs. I'm not going to count them out for a second. The only thing Baltimore have to do is just they got to win out. They can't afford no more losses. If they lose one more game, they got to win the next they got to go like 9 straight, and that's going to be actually a kind of hard for them to do. It's possible, but it's gonna be a bitch. Let's just say that it's gonna be hard for them to try to get in now if they lose any more games. This team is just up and down. Yeah, they've had their moments. They're blowing out Miami, but that was Miami. Miami's a team that really ain't got nothing else going for them. But against tougher teams, the Ravens have problems competing against. So no, Pittsburgh basically owns this division. In Cincinnati, like I told y'all, Marvin Lewis needs to get fired. It's time. It's beyond time to move on from Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis has been there long enough. He still hasn't done anything with this team. It's time to let him go. And for Cleveland, it's going to take Hugh Jackson yet alone another year to get this team going. I thought it would have been this season, but apparently he needs more time. So that's just Hugh Jackson. So I mean, I'm going to give him time to try to at least another season to try to revamp this Browns team. Now for the AFC South, we got Jacksonville. Jacksonville actually surprises me. The way things are going, Jacksonville may actually reach the playoffs this year. Okay, like I told y'all from my last video, you're gonna see a lot of teams such as Jacksonville that you normally not used to seeing in the last 10 years. Jacksonville has not been to the playoffs since 2008. Okay, see, remember last year was Miami's time. This year just might be Jacksonville, especially with the way it's going, because Tennessee is probably going to be the only team basically challenging them for that last spot. The Titans are, believe it or not, still in it. The only problem with Tennessee is that I have to give Jacksonville an edge over them because defensively Jacksonville has more to offer. I'll tell you, Tom Coughlin coming over there, becoming president, and basically making the decisions over there has helped Jacksonville a whole lot now. Tom Coughlin is basically shaping them into that New York Giants team he had back in 2008, 2007, and 2011. So this is why the Jacksonville Jaguars are players well because that defense is actually starting to show up. So Tennessee is still all right. I mean, yeah, they still got Mariota and Marco Murray and Derrick Henry, but outside of that, they really don't have too much else going for them right now. Eric Decker hasn't really played the way he ought to be playing. I mean, maybe it's just the team he's on. He's not used to it, but I mean, like Delaney Walker is still a Pro Bowl tight end. Their defense is all right. The only problem with Tennessee, they should have kept Devin McCourty. I don't agree with them allowing Devin McCourty to leave and not paying him that money. I would have did everything I could to keep Devin McCourty because Devin McCourty, well, Jason, no, excuse me, not Devin McCourty, Jason McCourty. I'm sorry, they're twins. I get them confused, but yeah, I would have kept Jason McCourty definitely on his team. He's one of the McCourty twins. His other brother is in New England. He's winning. Okay, his brother just won a Super Bowl recently, last year. But yeah, I would have kept one of the McCourty twins. I would not allow him to go to Cleveland. Yeah, I mean, I understand you trying to take the money. You did it for Cleveland, but why Cleveland? If that's the case, he might as well just stay in Tennessee because Cleveland is on the verge of having a winless season. And then Houston's problem is Deshaun Watson is now out for the season. He's had a tough rookie year. Rookie year wasn't bad for what it was. It's just he can't play until next year. And then J.J. Watt's injuries is becoming a burden on the Texans. So with that being said, Houston, I don't see them making the playoffs. I think they need to basically just tank this year and get another first round draft pick so they can draft another lineman. Because Houston Texans is going to need another defensive lineman because I don't see J.J. Watt being there for too much longer, especially with his injuries. That's starting to become a problem. He's now injured for the second year in a row. He's out for the season. The Texans need him now. And Colts is the Colts. I mean, for the problem with the Colts, Chuck McDonald, like Marvin Lewis, he may be on the hot seat. Chuck McDonald may be getting fired at the end of this season because it's more than just Andrew Luck not being around, not being able to show up, and being injured. The rest of the team has to be good. Okay, everybody on these teams are professionals. These are the best in the draft. So if your starter goes down, your backup's got to play just as good, especially since they get an opportunity. So there's no excuse for the Colts the way they've been playing the last 2 years. Like the Bengals, I think the Colts need new coaching staff. They need a new regime down here. Now AFC East, of course, New England is always going to be a contending team. So just so long as they have Brady and Belichick, so I'm not going to be worried about New England too much. The only concern is that they have Brian Hoyer as backup. Now, Brian Hoyer may actually play better with this New England Patriots team because this is the only team we actually had success with. Brian Hoyer, from what we've seen in the last 10 years, is going to team after team and has not played that well at all. But I think under Belichick, being back under Belichick's system, that might help him out a whole lot, especially now being on a winning organization and playing under Brady. Whoever plays behind the Brady, you got to step up. You got to try your hardest. No excuses. Now, the Bills are actually 5-3 for the first time in years. The Bills are another team that's been playing impressive so far. They've been winning a majority of their games. They only got 3 losses right now. The Bills, like the Jaguars, are on pace to reach in the playoffs for the very first time in 25 years. Okay, so I'll give Bills a chance to get that wild card spot. It's not over for them yet. They still got some wins left. They still got some time to clinch in. I can see this team getting at least 11 wins, if not 12. I mean, I'm not going to put too much on the Bills because, again, seeing is believing. And they haven't been that impressive the last 15, 20 years, but they have a chance this season, especially with teams like Denver and Oakland not playing that well, Kansas City losing games. They got a strong chance. Now, Ryan Tannehill, out for the season. Them have to trade him for Jay Cutler, and then the fact that they don't have Jay Ajayi, you could basically count this Miami Dolphins teams out. They're not making the playoffs this year. So this is another team that's gonna have to start over again. Okay, they'll have to basically go in rebuilding mode because I still don't agree with them trading Ajayi. Because anytime a player has personal issues with the team or the coaching staff, that's an issue that the team has to fix. Ajayi was roughly the best offensive player last year that helped Tannehill get to the playoffs. Them trade him because they think he's going to get injured again is just clearly that's just foul. Okay, that's just no excuse. But now y'all understand why Miami never really does anything because their management team makes terrible decisions. And then just Todd Bowles just have to find that quarterback. He has to, like I said, he has to find an offense that works. He has to find something that's going to get it. He got to find that spark. He just hasn't found that yet. The Jets need to do defense. That defense is getting older. To me, Darrelle Revis has to retire now. The man is like 35, 36 years old. It's time to retire. Darrelle Revis, they need another cornerback. That's what they need. The defense is getting older now. They're not getting younger. I mean, they're going to have to start changing things up for next season. On to the AFC West. Kansas City, of course, they're going to be a contending team. I'm not going to count. I think Kansas City is going to clinch this division. And the only reason why Kansas City is going to clinch the division as easy as it is now because Denver's going through a quarterback problem. Denver's problem, they don't have an offense. They may not even necessarily have hired the right head coach. So because of that and because Oakland has lost like 4 games already, Oakland is struggling as of recently, I'm going to give Kansas City this division automatically by default. And plus, anytime you still got Kareem Hunt and Alex Smith, you're still good. But see, the problem with Alex Smith is the Cowboys was able to stop him. The Cowboys were able to shut him down in the fourth quarter. And that's a concern right now going forward. The way the Cowboys were able to shift momentum, and they prevented Alex Smith from giving Kareem Hunt the ball, and that's something else. They completely limit Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt couldn't even get 5 yards in that fourth quarter. They couldn't get no momentum going, so that's something that Andy Reid's going to have to fix going forward. But, yeah, I got Kansas City getting into the playoffs by default. Denver, the only way Denver is getting into the playoffs this year is if Brock Osweiler going to have to really step his momentum up. He's going to have to really start doing something. Because, see, the problem with Denver is that John Elway didn't keep Osweiler when he had the chance. The year Osweiler won them 7 straight games that year, he should have kept Osweiler in the game. He should have never benched him in the last play of the game for Peyton Manning. That's Kubiak's fault. Okay? So, of course, Osweiler wanted to leave. He wasn't getting paid his money. The Broncos had enough money to pay Osweiler and Von Miller, both re-signing them to new contracts. So, I mean, Osweiler is back. And it's funny how Osweiler left Houston and Cleveland, collected all that money. So, I mean, for Osweiler to get paid the money he's getting paid, he's going to have to really start producing. So, I mean, Denver, I'm not going to exactly count them out just yet, but they're not going to win that division. Kansas City's winning the division, but Denver can at least still get a wild card spot if they start winning more games. The Chargers, I'm gonna say not this year for the Chargers just yet. They're still not ready yet. They are showing signs of improvement, but again, like Phillip Rivers, it's his time to go. They're going to have to move on from Phillip Rivers eventually anyway. And the Raiders right now, okay, the Raiders' problem is like Beast Mode, you can't be getting suspended no more. I mean, like, so Marshawn Lynch getting suspended, that messed the Raiders' momentum up completely. Because Derek Carr, at this point in the game, Derek Carr is in danger of being injury prone. They're going to have to protect Derek Carr. Now, the Raiders, if they want to reach the playoffs from here on out, they got to, like again, they got to go 9 to 10 straight. You can't lose no more games at this point. The Raiders, I would give Raiders a chance, more of a chance than Denver at this point, because I think Raiders still got their team intact. As long as Derek Carr is playing, they can basically get some momentum. They can win some games. They could go on like an 8-game win streak with him. But again, they can't lose no more games. They got to basically win here on out, no more losses. And for the NFC North, Vikings is going to clinch the playoffs this year. This would be Vikings. Vikings will have another chance to get to the Super Bowl. I'm basically having Vikings take the NFC North only because, for one, the Packers basically don't have Aaron Rodgers no more. He's out for the season. Without Aaron Rodgers, this Green Bay is extremely limited right now. That's a very young team, and Brett Hundley hasn't had enough time to really start, okay, besides preseason. So, I mean, this is the first time where Brett Hundley is being thrown into the fire, trying to get his feet wet and everything. So, with that being said, I mean, Mike McCarthy is a great quarterback coach. So, Green Bay has no they don't have a reason to have their head held down, but still, without Aaron Rodgers, they're not going to make the playoffs. So, what Mike McCarthy is going to do, he's going to work with Brett Hundley. He's going to work him into the system, get him warmed up so that he can have a chance to take over fully. Let's say if Aaron Rodgers was to retire. So with that being said, Green Bay, they're not going to make the playoffs. I highly doubt it. Minnesota, I got going the first seed. Again, Green Bay, what they're going to do is I don't know if they're going to be contending. They're not going to contend without Aaron Rodgers. So for them, it's just all about just working their backups. Getting their backups ready to potentially start if Aaron Rodgers was to call it quits or if he can't play football no more. Now the Lions actually still got a chance. I think only lost like the Raiders, they lost 4 games. I think they're 3-4, if not 4-4. But I think Detroit Lions still got a chance. They just got to win the teams in their division. That means they got to beat the Vikings. They got to beat Green Bay, which they're going to do. They're going to beat the Bears, but that's the only way I see Detroit getting into the playoffs from here on out. They got to basically beat the rest of the teams in their division to get in so they can win a tiebreaker. If they can win a tiebreaker over the Vikings, they'll get in. The problem with the Lions, like I said, losing some momentum like the rest of these teams, like the Broncos, like the Raiders, like the Texans, they've been losing a lot. They've been losing some games they shouldn't have been losing. Okay, I've actually had high hopes for Detroit getting in. They still got a chance. Now, I'm not going to count them out just yet. It's only going to get tougher. But, yeah, I got Detroit still possibly getting that wild card spot. So, they're still in. Bears is the Bears. Okay, like I said, John Fox is taking him a long time. He has a lot of work he still has to be done. Bears offense is not looking that bad. It's just, like I said, they still got some positions need to be filled. Now for the NFC South, the Saints, again, another surprising team. Drew Brees has been making them look good as of recently. They got a lot of young studs on this team. And plus, with Atlanta losing games the way they're losing, Carolina has been losing at least twice. New Orleans is able to get that spot. New Orleans has a chance to actually clinch this year. It's going to be basically between them and Carolina battling for that that first seed in the NFC South. So either one of those two teams can actually make it both in at the exact same time. So it's going to be a race between Carolina and New Orleans. They're basically going to be neck and neck this year. Atlanta, I'm sorry to say, but Atlanta is not that same team anymore. Atlanta is basically, if they keep losing games, they losing, they're done. Okay, and I'm sorry, Falcons fans, but that's just the truth. Now people are beginning to see what I've been telling you last year. Okay, last year Atlanta had an easy route in the playoffs. They played weak. They played teams that were injured and banged up. They played a Green Bay Packers team that basically had to go in there with the second and third stream in there. They had an easy route to the playoffs, and now you've seen this. The problem in Atlanta is they can't secure leads at all. Okay, they get a 21-point lead, they can't close out, and Matt Ryan is just too mediocre. Okay, like I said, like his nickname, Matty Ice, he goes completely cold in the fourth quarter. Okay, yeah, Atlanta give all their momentum, they give their number one, they give all their effort in the first half. Second half, the other team finds a way to come back. This has been happening more than once. The season's only going to get tougher. They just played they're playing the Cowboys now, who just come off a win beating Kansas City. I don't even see Atlanta even beating my Cowboys. So, with that being said, Atlanta is basically, they're not going to win the division this year. They're basically going to be they're just going to be playing for pride right now. They're going to have to start over, and then without Kyle Shanahan, now you see where Dan Quinn's by himself. You see how Dan Quinn's going to have to come up with something else because it's just not going to work. Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston has injuries right now. The Bucks, the Bucks, I'll give them one more year. Maybe this just is not their year. I'll give them one more year, they'll be ready. NFC East, Philadelphia is basically where they want to be. If Philadelphia is basically going to clinch the NFC East, the only way the Cowboys can get that division, they got to beat Philadelphia at least twice, and they got Philadelphia coming up. So it's going to be like I told you, it's going to be the battle between Philadelphia and Dallas for the division. Both of these two teams are going to make the playoffs. It's just a matter of who's going to get the first round bye. I'm still not going to count my Cowboys out. They only got 3 losses. Philadelphia, only time will tell how long they're going to keep this winning streak up. Eventually, they're going to run into a tougher team, which is going to be their test to see how real they are. But again, Dallas and Philadelphia are reaching the playoffs this year. Washington, no. Okay, and then Kirk Cousins, they got to see what they're going to do with him at the end of the season. I think for the Redskins defense, they're going to need another guy there. Yeah, you got DeAngelo Hall, you got Josh Norman, but that's not enough. They need more linemen. They need a linebacker, and they need another DB. Like I tell y'all, Giants is basically done. The only thing Giants did this year was beat the Denver Broncos. That's the only accomplishment they basically have. With beating the Denver Broncos team that's having problems with their quarterback position. Other than that, the Giants, like I said, they're done. They got to try again next season. Okay, Rams. Like I told you, man, Rams is another one of those teams that have a chance to make the playoffs that we haven't seen in the last 10 years. Rams haven't been there. Actually, they haven't been a first-seeded team since the Marshall Faulk days. And that was like 2003, 2004. Well, actually, yeah, that was in between 2002 and like 2004. That was in another decade. That was in another time. So I could see Todd Gurley actually, but possibly becoming MVP of the season the way he's having right now. The man is on pace. He's having on pace to having over 1,000-yard season right now. And Jared Goff is basically warmed up. Okay, Jared Goff is basically showing you what he can do. I think Sammy Watkins and Tavon Austin is a great receiver combination. They now have the receiver core they need. This defense is playing very good with TJ McDonald. So I can see the Rams basically crunching the NFC West. Just like Seattle, Arizona, and San Francisco before him, this is now their time to lead. Seattle, folks, I don't know. Seattle's been struggling a whole lot this year. Again, they've been losing a lot of games. Them losing to the Redskins was just a bad look. Okay, they can't lose to for Seattle to get to the playoffs, they can't lose no more games. They keep losing games. I don't see them making the playoffs. Not with the way Philadelphia, Dallas, and New Orleans and Carolina have been looking. Like Seattle might not make the playoffs this year. I'm just gonna tell that now. This just might be just a bad year for them. If you Seattle, it's not bad if you tank because you could at least get a first round pick, but they got a lot of issues that need to be addressed. And like I told you, it's Richard Sherman right now. It's Russell Wilson. That Legion of Boom is just not working anymore. They're going to have to try something new. Arizona basically needs a new quarterback. So they got to start over again. Fitzgerald's going to retire anyway, but again, Bruce Arians need a new offense. And the only thing San Francisco can look forward to is that they got Jimmy G from New England. So Jimmy G, at least with Jimmy G, they can start over fresh next season. So we'll see what Kyle Shanahan can do up to this point. And there you have it, folks. That's my my playoff prediction. So again, I got Tampa Bay is basically done. Giants are done. So it's gonna be. I basically took an L on that wild card prediction, but again, it's week 10, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna basically do another roster prediction come week 15, when most of these teams are basically clinched, and we'll see. I'll be doing my playoff predictions then. Y'all take care. Stay tuned. I'll see you soon.